let's do a tutorial on the assessment tracker. So when you get your link, you'll get forced to make a copy. You just click that, and it will make a copy right onto your drive. First thing we want to do, there's a key, here's the assessment template. You get a year at a glance, and then IEPs at a glance. So when you enter IEP dates, this gets populated. First, let's start with our 60-day calendar. In California, we do 60 days. I know other states do 30 or 45. Those are options as well. If you don't need them, you can highlight and right-click and hide these columns. It'll give you this heads up saying you're going to try to edit it. I'm going to say don't show this for at least 5 minutes. So this is my first day for a district, but if you have a different first date start, say the 11th, it'll change the first date. It'll automatically calculate the 60-day timeline if you drag and drop. You can see those change. You want to do that for the whole school year whenever your last day of school ends. Let's see, whoops. That actually works well. So you can see because it goes a little bit further, if your last day is later or sooner, you can delete those. If it ends here, I'm going to drag this down. You can see it'll change it to the next days. This gets, so in California, once you get past a certain date, you only have 30 days, which is why this stays the same, even though you get to like the last day of school. So you try to maximize it where either you convince families to stop asking for assessment to be able to give you a full timeline and better dates, or you figure out how to shorten that as well. Oh, I have this highlighted if your date back is different. You can always highlight that to give you a little thing, but you don't have to. For holidays, in the state of California, your holiday, your timeline gets paused if it's 5 days or more. So for Thanksgiving break, it's 5 days, so those do not count. But for winter break, we do get it. So my district actually gets 3 weeks off. If you only get 2 weeks, you can delete these and say you come back on like the 4th or 5th. This will automatically change the timelines here and update it. So you can see last time it was the 13th, now it's the 5th because we deleted these dates. You also want to include summer vacation. So if your first day out of school, let's see, what do I have this set to, is the 12th. You go through here and you delete it because this will give you updated timelines for the next school year. So you can see it gets paused, and then so in April, that is when you start getting it due the next school year. So you can edit these holidays to whatever fits your district. Make sure you enter the summer vacation. It doesn't matter where you have these. I'm just going to pull these up. So once that is set, you can start putting things in your template. So that is going to populate here. Now for those districts who have 45, and these are workday calendars, I'm not sure, because for us it's just calendar days, not work days, of how that changes. There are hidden cells here. You can expand this. So you will get dates if you receive it on the 25th. If you have a 30-day timeline, it's due October 6th. If it's 45 days, it's October 24th. If you have 60 days, it's October 24th. This is based on this, and it should have updated it if you, delete it. So everything gets updated automatically. I'll have to double check those don't get, there shouldn't be holiday breaks there. Oh, because it's work days. That's why. So that's why it kind of comes out the same. But if you don't need those, I'm going to delete these because I don't need them. It does not do anything. So once you have your calendar set, you can ignore this, you can hide it, leave that alone, and then you can work off that. So now let's enter our data for me, we use a system called SACE, and I'm able to download all the data for students, and it gets put in a nice little spreadsheet, and I can copy paste all of this information. So let's get names and birthdays copied over, and I'm just going to copy and paste. Actually, I'm going to do Control-Shift copy, and it keeps the formula. It'll automatically update their birthdays. And then let's add grades, case manager, eligibilities. So for us, it puts out these whole things. I do not like this, so I do a Control Find. It brings up Find in Sheet. So if I do specific learning disability, find it in Sheet, it'll highlight everything. I'm going to put these 3 dots, and I am going to say replace this with it just saying SLD, because I do not need the full thing. I can do just the things, and it gives you this heads up saying you're going to change things which may affect the 60-day timeline, but there is no learning disability on that, so it's okay. And I do this for each eligibility. You can also just change it to this sheet. Then it won't give you a, like, oh, that's one thing. If you have it highlighted, it may not let you copy it because it doesn't see it. So just make sure you go to another cell. For some, they don't have a secondary, but I don't really want to keep it there, so I will just keep it blank, and anywhere that it says none, it will replace it with empty things. So I don't have a lot of VIs, so I'll just type that one in. Hard of hearing. Yeah. And if I want to format it, I'll just highlight that. Let's close this so I can actually see. And center it. Yep, it's all there. All right, so the next part is the type. These actually get automatically put in. So from my spreadsheet, I'm going to copy over when their annual dates are due and the next evaluation date is due for each student. And you can see it will automatically populate here. So let's do that. If the try date is within a specific range, so my school year, so I have it from August 1st to the 30th, so September 30th of next school year, because I'd like pulling those up. If it is within this range, it'll be a triennial. If it's not, it'll say it is an annual. So I can sort and say I can ignore all the annuals, but I have all of my students in the entire school to look at. So that automatically gets put in there once these dates are entered. Also, when these dates are entered, your year at a glance gets populated. So here, all the annuals, anyone who is highlighted in blue is also a triennial. So everyone here should be in blue. But that way you can compare whether they're actually due in October, like this one is September, but they are not due until April here. So maybe you have 2 meetings or you pull it up and figuring out how to combine it if you do case management. I'll delete these and you can see your year at a glance gets erased if these dates are not put in. So this combined IEP, if you do want to combine them, let's sort them by day. So triennials, here are all the triennials. And I can look at these. If I want to combine them and be at the same time, let's say I'll pull this up to the 14th of November, it will give you the dates on this. Otherwise, it will be blank, so you can see what your year actually looks like. This is the projected. And once that gets put in. Now, because we have a 60-day timeline, I like to send home the assessment plan 60 days before the triennial date. That automatically gets calculated here. You can see some of these dates are 2028 or 2027 because they're annuals and they are not due. You can ignore them for the annuals. Sometimes I just filter them out and just remove the annual dates, so I'm only working with the triennials. If parent requests a student to be tested early, I'll switch this and pull whichever student it is, and I'll switch it to a try. It won't do anything if you do it that way. So I have all the dates here of which ones I need to send home within the first couple of days. Once I get the assessment plan, I will enter in the date received. So if I send it out on the 17th of October, we get it the 18th, it will pull the information from that 60-day tab that we edited, and it'll say it will be due December 17th. So once you enter the receive dates here, this will automatically get populated. And they're based on whichever dates you get. And again, because of the holiday break pause, it adjusts for that automatically as long as you enter your holiday breaks. So if you get out sooner, you can change this holiday break to be different, and it will adjust on here. So once you set your start date, this will automatically get calculated, and make sure you enter your holidays to alter this, because this says enter, all the 60 days unless there are holiday breaks in column C. So you have up to 100 days. I hope we don't get more than 100 days off between summer and breaks. But those are in there. You can ignore that, like I said. And then this automatically gets populated. Once you enter a date here, it gets color coded to this orange, where I know that I need to start working on this assessment plan. Now at my school, I'm at a middle school, we have multiple case managers. I can enter the key, and you can see these get projected by heavier days. This is the total of how many I've done so far. And total evaluations. This is a fraction of what I need to do. But so for case managers, here are all the case managers. I can sort them. I will highlight each one. So by doing that, I click it and then hold Control to pick each one. I will Control C, copy each of those names, Control Shift V, and it'll enter the names here. Anytime the case manager's name shows up as a triennial, it'll count how many triennials they have for this school year. If you have more case managers, you can enter them there. If you have less, it doesn't matter. If you only have one case manager, it doesn't matter. Unless you have guest case managers who come in and do assessments for you. So that's how that gets done. Hopefully that helps you get organized. One of the other things I do is I go through each student who has a triennial and enter in their services. So if they get specialized academic instruction, maybe it's called resource, maybe it's called something else. If they get speech, if they get counseling, OT, behavior, and any other services, I'll check it just because it helps me keep organized who needs to be involved in the assessment. And if it's other, we have intensive behavioral services or adaptive behavior, I can right click and add a comment and just say adaptive PE, APE. And that way it gives me a little note of what that other is. And it just adds that. But these are the main ones. You don't have to use those. And then once I am started testing, hearing and vision is complete. It'll do that. Once academics, it'll start changing colors. Your cognitive is done. Sometimes if you do cognitive before academics, it'll do different colors. social emotional, speech, OT. Once you're done testing and so you're writing the report, that'll highlight it, ready for the IEP, changes it there. And then once you have the IEP cases completed, in my district, I also have to enter billing information. So I have added that. If not, you can right click and delete it. There's also extra things that you can add. I don't need that one, so I can delete a column. If you have extra things that you can do, you can insert right and say like maybe SACE billing or different billing or uploading the report or sending it home and add different checklists. But once billing is entered, it turns the dark blue. You can rename it to whatever you need as well. Let's just hide that. I will filter this. So once I'm done with it, I will say I don't want, this is done with that one. I don't want to delete it because I know that I've completed the assessment, but I want to keep it around, but I don't want to see it. So I will get rid of it and it'll only keep the cases that I am either currently working on or will be working on. And then if I need to go back at the end of the year and say how many cases did I complete, I can unhide that and it'll have everything there. So hopefully that is helpful. Like I said, the birthdays get automatically calculated once that gets entered. You'll have to go through and rename these, but then whether it lands between August 1st, if you need to change the date and say it's July 15th, you can change it here and then say 15 and add to whatever date the end date is. And it will change whether or not it becomes a try. So that gets edited here. Hopefully that is helpful and keep your year and IEPs at a glance easy to manage. Thanks for watching.